Hello and welcome to Ooled Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Ace of Discs. I love this card because it has all of my favorite colors and it also has the peacock, which I love. I'm a huge fan of Juno, the goddess Juno. And you know, if you know Juno, she, her animal, the animal that is related to her is a peacock. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay. We got so much going on, don't we? We have solar flares. Mother's Day is, well, it's past when this reading comes out, but it is tomorrow as I am doing this reading on Saturday night. And yeah, what else? It feels like, well, it feels chaotic to me. I had quite an event just happen, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, right before this reading. And so, but let's get into the actual tea leaves, and then we'll talk about what happened to me. All right. Okay, so we have a person standing here, you can see, and kind of arms behind them, almost like pondering. Now behind them, we have, it looks to me like a skeleton. And this actually, it reminds me of a medieval motif, which is the maiden and death. Okay, and so this is kind of these pictures of death, and in this case, kind of pictured as a dancing skeleton, and coming to the maiden to dance with her, to kind of, you know, sweep her away. I imagine kind of an allegory on death of the young, right? Somewhat young, of a young adult, teenager, young adult. And I don't know, you know, I'm sure it's because during these times there were great, you know, sicknesses and circumstances that led to a lot of people not living that long, right? And so we have these motifs. Now I'm looking at this. It is also a reminder of memento mori, right? And this is the reminder of death. This is the thing, something that you keep with you, you know, a little object, maybe a jewelry, possibly a reminder that life is finite, or no, yes, finite. Oh, is that the word? Yeah, finite. I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, I don't use the word finite too often, so forgive me. Yes, life, it does not go on forever. Well, at least as far as I know, right? And so a great reminder that, yeah, we must live our life the best we can. So I'm looking at this and I'm not seeing any kind of, you know, death lingering around or anything. But the idea that you are very much in the moment. I feel that you are somebody who is very conscious of kind of the fragility of life, which seems weird because we're talking about a Leo, and usually I kind of picture a Leo as like, you know, somebody who's just kind of, you know, focused on having fun and making money and you know, kind of finding an elevated place in their social groups and, you know, things like this. And I know it's a limited view. I myself have some, quite a few Leo placements, so I know that's not true because I'm not that person really at all. But I do know that you are passionate about life. I know that you're very perceptive. You pay attention to details. Wherever you go, you pay attention to the details. When you meet somebody, you listen, you are watching, you are taking in facts about them, details about them. You are somebody who remembers things, right? Like you remember people's birthdays, you remember the names of their pets, their kids, and so on. You are really good at relating to people. You're really good at kind of experiencing a situation, a scenario, whatever, and transmuting it into some kind of creative thing. Maybe you are a painter, a musician, writer. You know, maybe you put this into business. It helps you kind of figure out how to, you know, maybe sell your things to somebody, or maybe you are in sales. I always think of Leo people as kind of being like excellent salespeople. Now, here's the other side, though, of Leo, is that I feel that there is just an abyss, right? There is a sadness there that I don't think people talk about a lot, right? The duality of kind of that real solar and energetic energy that Leo has, it is absolutely balanced out by this, I mean, it's a darkness, right? And that's not to say like like you're a villain or, you know, any kind of like malevolent type of person, but yeah, you walk in the night a lot. You are somebody who is very solitary at the core. I feel like no matter how many people are around you, how many people love and adore you, it is hard for you to believe it, which you know, I think we all understand that. But I think certain signs, certain kinds of people, it just absolutely is so difficult to accept that other people truly love you and value you for whatever reason. And I don't know that this is even related so much to the sign. I think it's part of it, and I think because we're talking about Leo, it really kind of amplifies these feelings. But I do think that, you know, you've struggled a lot in your life to kind of find a sense of self-worth, and at times I feel that you have, you know, really kind of gone to places that you maybe wouldn't have if you weren't looking for something to kind of fill yourself up, right? And through this journey, let me just say, through this journey, and I kind of think of it as like descending to the underworld, right? And then re-emerging, arising back up into the day side, and having not only the knowledge that you are lacking before, but the wisdom, right? To take that knowledge and apply it to your life. And I think a lot of that is that, you know, accepting who you are. really, really, really allowing yourself to be okay with, you know, whatever things have limited you, whatever choices or missteps you've made, but embracing the things about yourself that are just marvelous. You know, your talent, your ability, your beauty, your creativity. Creativity is a huge one. But you're also your ability to share that with other people. You know, somebody like a Cancer, or a Pisces, I think of as like, you know, very creative people, but have a really hard time taking their work and giving it to the world. Well, you, Leo, are really good at allowing your work to be handed over, right? And that's kind of what happens when we create something. It is only ours in that we are kind of a conduit of some kind, right, of the muse. And once we're done, and once we kind of hand it over, it's no longer ours, really, is it? And so, you know, I think that you have this mastered, and all of this is very much related to this understanding of life being such a fleeting thing, right? And I think that so often you're acutely aware of, this isn't gonna last forever, so I'm going to do something with it right now. I'm going to kind of lift myself when we get there, right? To that sunken place that we kind of, you know, kind of descend into. Just absolutely claw yourself right out of there. Climbing one little grip at a time and getting out of there. Okay. Now, I also want to look at, we have, it looks like I was thinking, is this a snake or a worm? But then, I don't know. I think it actually is R-E. And I read this as ray. Okay, so sun. And we also have, it looks like a person holding a bird. And we have an arrow right here. Okay. So the bird is the message. We also have a cat over here. Trying to keep the bird from the cat almost. Okay, so I feel like yes, and this makes sense to me because the cat really, it symbolizes individuality. It symbolizes kind of doing whatever you feel like, not following anybody's rules. You have your own rules. And all of that is great until you have to kind of get something done, or, you know, you have to do something that involves the collective. You have to work together. You have to kind of, you know, figure it out. And so I really do. I feel like you have something to share. You have a message. You have something that you'd like to get out there. And yeah, you're still an individual. You're a very kind of independent, self-motivated person, but I feel that you really, it's like sometimes you got to grab that and grab that bird, grab that message and run with it, right? Don't let yourself get bogged down in this like, you know, worry that, oh, this is my thing. I don't want to give this to the world. I don't want to share this. I'm going to write all these things in my little notebook and, you know, tie it up and put it in the drawer of my desk and never show anybody, right? And it's okay to have that, of course, you know. Some of us never show our creative work ever, ever, ever. But I feel like you have the intention to do something great with your creativity. And so you have to kind of allow yourself to like just put it out there. And I think that this period of time is going to be about kind of doing exactly that. Now we also have the arrow. So I believe that there is really a sense of love here. And I feel like there's bravery through love, a love connection. Now, I don't see exactly who this is. I don't see it really coming from a certain direction that is notable, but I do feel like there is a great movement towards kind of this romantic love. And I think that it's really important to your current path, the current state of your path. And yeah, you know, I think like a lot of us, you just do better work when you're in love. Now, staying focused on doing the work, that's a whole other thing. But I do think that when you have love in your life, that's when you are creating your best stuff. Okay, so we also have a duck right here, flying in movement. And we have, it looks like L-E. L-E. Oh, and this one actually kind of looks like L-E as well. Okay, so we have the duck. The duck in movement lets me know that there is a great shift in energies. Okay, really working to kind of undo, dissolve, break apart whatever thing has been kind of a blockage for you. Whatever thing has been distractive or you know, keeping you in that kind of melancholy place, being too tired, being too, you know, this, being too that, not having the will or the motivation to do the work that you want to do, the creative work, right? And maybe that is your job. Maybe the job is, you know, just wearing you out. That's what, you know, you get up, you get ready for work, you go to work, you know, do that, you come home, you know, eat, you get cleaned up, you go to bed and do it again and do it again, you know, and it feels like it's a blessing that I have all that I do have, but I also don't really have a lot of energy or time to focus on the things that I want to. So I feel like it really has become a priority. We have this duck and it's like, okay, we're moving fast, energy, just, you know, being primed for you to be able to figure out, like, how am I going to actually be able to do this creative work that I want to do? Rearranging your schedule or, you know, motivating yourself to, even when you don't feel like it, get in the habit of a creative routine, right? I think this happens to a lot of artists, a lot of writers, a lot of, you know, whatever it is that you do. You know, things happen in our lives, we get out of our routine. It's hard to get back into it. We find excuses as to why we, you know, might do something else. And next thing you know, it's been like 6 months since you, you know, took the time to you know, and I just thought, like, create an app, or maybe you create apps, I don't know. Maybe you paint or whatever it is. And so you have to begin from square one, really, again, to get that ball rolling. It's like when you go to the gym and you're doing great and then you get like the flu, right? And you're out for like a week. And then, you know, the next week it's like, I still feel a little bit crummy, but also I have like this work thing I have to go to, so I'm gonna do that, and then tomorrow I'll go, and then the next day it's like, okay, well, actually I need to go, you know, get the car washed, and I gotta stop by my mom's house, and so maybe I'll go tomorrow. And then next thing you know, it's been a month, and it's like, how do I even start again? Where do I start again, you know? So yeah, I feel like it's kind of that vibe, but you are doing it. Okay, so stay diligent, make a routine that is realistic, something that you will actually do. So maybe that is getting up a little bit early so that you can, you know, work on something for 30 minutes. Maybe setting aside some time in the evening. I'm going to eat and then I'm going to do some chores. And then, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to work on my thing for like an hour every night. You know, and figuring out like, yeah, what is going to work for you, because it's different for all of us. Absolutely. And, but you'll thank yourself once you really get going, and it's easier and easier each time, right? So once you are in it, I feel like it's like, you know, it feels like you never stopped. So that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm excited for you. And also, if you are a creative or an artist or, you know, whatever you identify as, and you have work you want to share, please comment it. Definitely. Share it so we all can see. Now, we have, it looks to me like the word dream. D-R-E, maybe A and M at the same time. So I'm thinking dream. And I'm thinking that this is a place where I feel like it's a place that's been really potent for you. Suddenly there seems to be just this kind of onslaught of really vivid dreams. And I feel that you really haven't been having a lot of dreams in general, but then all of a sudden there's this turn towards dreaming really deeply, constantly. And they're very kind of pronounced and detailed, and the kind of dreams where you bring them over into your waking life. It's like you can't really shake the feeling once you're waking up in the morning. And so, you know, this is also something that is a blessing. It is a place where you can find inspiration that you can definitely apply to whatever creative thing that you're working on. So go into those dreams and look for, you know, the signs, symbols, synchronicities. Commune with the beings that are there, and see what you can get from them, because definitely it will assist you in your creative endeavors. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at this one. Okay, so we have the cow, okay, and we have a person sitting, it looks like meditating next to. So I feel like there is a sense of the mother, there is a sense of being just absolutely in a place of peace in the presence of the mother. I feel there's a like a yearning to be connected once again, kind of this feeling of oneness. And I feel like kind of the breaking down of the barriers of being these separate beings, being this, you know, kind of solo consciousness, just trying to stumble your way through life. There's a real sense of wanting to return to this state of togetherness, of interconnectedness. And so, you know, I feel like, you know, obviously I am no expert. I'm just, you know, a silly person trying to figure things out like anybody else. But I do think that when we start to feel this way, you know, these acts of devotional love, of honor, of praise, important. Also being of service to others, okay? It brings us closer to those who are around us, our small community, you know, and feeling a sense of being, I guess, with people, right? Having fellowship. But the thing about volunteering or being of service is nice that like there is a little bit of a formality to it. And so I think that's important for you, Leo, because you can get really lost in a situation with somebody, even if it is something that you don't desire, right? You're not always good at the boundaries. And so this is something that I think, you know, giving of your time and your energies in a way that there's structure is, I think, will be really beneficial, okay? We also have 16. We have an axe. Okay, so I feel like there is a sense of it's almost like a choice of using the axe to either you know, cut the wood that will continue the burning fires of, you know, a beloved, of a union, or to use the axe to like sever the union, to part yourself away. And I think that this is something that has been on your mind a lot recently, and you know, kind of trying to figure out like, which way do I go? Now, I think that sometimes when we feel this way, we have to remind ourselves that it doesn't have to be all or nothing, that it's important that we temper ourselves, that we take our time, we implement things that are doable, reasonable, manageable. Unless it's like you're just absolutely over it, there's so much room for healing, for growing together, for re-envisioning the way that, you know, your life might be together or whatever. And so maybe looking at it as an opportunity versus this like, I'm either staying or I'm going, right? An opportunity to create something new, right? Plant the seeds within this existing thing, so that, yeah, you know, this wonderful kind of, you know, sacred grove, this foresty place will emerge, you know, and there are more options within this union. There are more things to learn about one another. There are, you know, a lot of opportunities to grow into each other and find playfulness and you know, laughing and enjoying and you know, having moments of leisure with one another. And I think that's really important. Okay. All right. So we're going to go over here, and I'm just going to tell you why I'm so my night has just been wild. Evening, I should say. And it actually I was supposed to be done with my work already. And when I was getting set up for my first reading, I had been outside all day. Anyways, everything seemed fine. I came in, I was getting ready, making some dinner for my daughter and whatever. I came down to work, and a tick fell out of my hair. And now I live in the country. I'm like very rural. So it's not like, you know, some crazy, like you never could imagine this to happen kind of thing. But still, oh, it really just, it ruined my night. I'm going to tell you, it kind of ruined my night. I'm trying to shake it off. So, I was like on my phone doing all like the deep dive into, you know, all there is to know about ticks and how, you know, how to prevent them and this and that. So if you have any advice, let me know. Thankfully it was a dog tick. And though they can be dangerous, not not as much as like a deer tick. Also did not bite me, thankfully. It had not fed. It wasn't plump or anything. It's so gross. So I just have to be more careful. I was out there with listen, it was my fault. I was out there like wiling out with my hair down. And if you've ever seen me or pictures of me, you will know, or you might know, I don't know. My hair's super long. It's like down to past my, my lower back. It's down to my butt basically. And it's really thick. I have really thick hair. And thank you to my Choctaw family. My dad and everybody on that side of my family have just like the crazy thick hair. And anyways, I was like, I wear it down a lot, and I did not put it up. I was just out there in the woods. I was out with my mom, who's my acquired mom, who wanted to go fishing, and so we went fishing, or I didn't fish, but she did. And, just hanging out, and we had a nice day and all that, and I don't know. I'm just disgusted with myself. All right, so we have the Wild Offering Oracle cards, and we're gonna get into those. Let's go ahead and pick one out. I'm gonna flip through. I'm gonna stop where it feels right. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over. It says companionship. When you fully bless and embrace your aloneness, you're ready for the ones who are meant to be with you. May I welcome this solitude, knowing it will open the way for all healthy relationships. Yes. I had this card the other night, and I know I talk about it sometimes, and if you've watched my channel, my other readings, for any amount of time, I'm sure I've talked about it, but when my first husband passed away, he had a heart disease that nobody knew about. He didn't know about it. He had been, a lot of things going on. He passed away at 36, thankfully in his sleep, which was awful. It was a horrific experience, and really sad. And actually, my acquired mom I was talking about, she's actually the mother of my first husband, but we're still close. And yeah, I know it's a weird dynamic because she's also really close with my husband now. Shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband Paul over there. Just amazing tarot reader. Also amazing person in general. So they're close. So I know that some people are like, what? This is a weird thing. But anyhow, between my first husband tragically passing away and meeting Paul, there were years there. It was a big gap of years, and I was in hermit mode. And when I say in hermit mode, I mean I moved away from the city into a rural area where I did not know people, and I spent almost all my time alone with my cats. And so I sometimes would go weeks without talking to people in real life. I was very in this, alone. It was hard. I was lonely at first, and then it became some of the most happy times in my life. I felt like I flourished as a being. I became something completely other than I had been before. I also got sober in that time period, and I couldn't have done that, I don't think, with anybody around. I had to be by myself. I had to go through it, really through it. And so when I see a card like that, I'm like, yes, please. I suggest that everybody spend at least a couple years by yourself. I don't mean you have to go be like me and become like a hermit, but live without romantic engagement. Even maybe try not having super close friends for a while, and that's hard, I know, but to rely fully on yourself for the comfort that you need, the well, entertainment and enjoyment, and you know, when you're absolutely inconsolable and sad and whatever, even when you're sick. I remember I had what was it, H1N1, when I was living by myself, hermit mode. I was so sick. I had no medicine at home, and I had to figure it out. You know, I mean, I could have called somebody, but I just was in this mode of like, I'm doing this dang thing. I'm going to, you know, take care of myself. And I was really scared at some points. I was like, I'm so sick. I worry that something might happen here. But you know, it was such an empowering time of my life. And I could not have been with my husband without this time. I would have absolutely messed up our relationship because he's such a wonderful and nice person. I didn't even know how to like deal with that. I wasn't used to that. So, you know, being in a time of my life where I could build myself up, so important. And I recommend, 10 out of 10 recommend for everybody. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do. And I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you, what else? Oh yes, if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. You know, to all you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. I know it's belated at this point when the reading comes out, but as I'm doing this reading, we are on the eve of Mother's Day, so I am still thinking about it. And yes, the world is nothing without you. It absolutely is not. Mothers are, you know, the origin, and that's it, you know, and the thing that keeps everybody together and going, keeps the world moving, right? So anyways, thank you very much, and I love you, and we'll talk in a few days. Good night.